Smart 24, driving business.
A very warm welcome back. We are having a very interesting conversation with Mr. Fadil Mande today, and I hope you're enjoying the show just as much as I am. This is The Point, and this is Smart 24 TV, where we drive your business. Now, Mr. Fadil, looking at your experience from authoring and writing books, what are some of the biggest challenges that have been thrown at you doing this as an author? First of all, as someone who is very passionate, who wants to push knowledge across board in Uganda, with a great passion for improvement and seeing that we have better Ugandans, how have you been able to maneuver also some of these challenges? If you could list some of them. Okay.
Before I mention the challenges, I think for the sake also of our viewers and encouraging people to write, let me talk about not the challenge, but let me talk about the opportunities I've had. You get me? Yes. First of all, me, Fadil Mande, I have not done one job in this country. No. I have been a trainer of teachers in the teacher training colleges. I've been a bank manager. I've been a bank human resource personnel. I have been a hotel manager of Silver Springs Hotel. I was once working with the Tropical Bank in Arabian Arab Bank. I have been somebody working in the government security departments. I have trained in the military. I have been an actor. I have been a presenter on televisions. I have also been in the hotel industry. You've been an athlete as well? I have been an athlete, definitely. Yes. I did a lot of sports. I started doing my physicals when I was 8 years old. So I've been, and one of the things that has kept me alive and strong at the age of 74 now is physical exercise. And that opens my brain. So I wanted to say this is an opportunity because one, I have very many experiences to learn from. I share those experiences. But if you are limited and you've been only, for example, an engineer, maybe a civil engineer, that's what you've been doing all your life, you won't have a lot of ideas to share in a book. When good writers of books should be very experienced in a variety of lives for the human beings to understand. So they share experience. I have shared those experiences and I've used them. All right? That's why most of my books are either about parenting, they are about skilling your children or skilling up and growing larger, preparing for retirement and so on and so forth. Because I have gone through those experiences. Now the challenges. The first challenge is readership. Ladies and gentlemen, listening to me, watching me now, watching us, we have a challenge. People don't have the love to read books. And that goes back, with our grandparents. As a continent, as Uganda, we are not known for writing at all. We are known for oral communication. We did storytelling, we did that's how we didn't record all our history. You find the whole family is there, but you cannot read about what the family has gone through 100 years ago, because all was communicated orally. And we have spent a lot of time on oral communication. Now it is being even taken away by the telephone and the computer. You cannot even communicate orally now, oral communication. So that's the problem. Our reading is very, very low because we have never had a driving program in the country to encourage people to read books. Schools do not demand that you should read beyond the textbook to pass your neighbor exams. Are you getting me? All right? And schools, for example, how much literature is being taught in our schools? That is not being taught. And if you don't teach literature, you will not teach people to understand themselves, to understand human beings, and also to be able to love, to communicate through writing. So that is readership. And when I'm talking about readership, it includes my fellow teachers. Let me share a joke with you. I have been selling my books ever since I started writing in about, because my beginning books, I wrote them in 2008, right? I have been moving and I've been doing seminars and workshops and what. I have sold most of my books whenever I've gone for a seminar or workshop. After I've talked, after I've taught, and then there's somebody with the books, there people buy the books. All right? And audiences vary. Most people will be business people to buy the books, which is good. Some parents will buy the books, but it's always, I don't have money. Are you getting me? But I said, let me share. I can say it now here to challenge my fellow teachers. The people who have bought least books are my fellow teachers. The fellow teachers do not have that love for reading a storybook.
And they have this responsibility to
they have
transfer
the responsibility,
knowledge.
and I'm telling you as an education consultant,
Yes.
the knowledge of an average teacher is so small, so narrow, so limited, because they don't read broadly and largely. Are you getting me? Which for me I started when I was in secondary school, and I pushed it when I was training even as a teacher. Are you getting me? Their books.
Maybe they lack the motivation to read, because the profession also in Uganda hasn't been given the respect.
No, it hasn't been
requires.
given the respect
And the pay.
The
Probably.
pay. You
Yes.
get me? But you see, I keep telling teachers, you know, that's why I told you the story at the beginning. It is me who discovered myself and designed my desire. Are you getting me? Teachers should be the people who design themselves. Are you getting me? Once you can't choose a direction and why. Then anybody will take you in any direction. You get me? So there is that challenge of leadership. Are you getting me? Then, of course, what I say as another challenge, we don't have specific programs in the country. For example, we've been celebrating read. Stop everything and do what? Read. The reading
the
program.
hour.
Yes, you get me? But apart from celebrating it, we tell me any program in Uganda which gets people to read. Are you getting me? We are still very, very weak. Are you getting me? Just like we are still very, very weak in doing physical exercise. The president launched that program himself, His Excellency the President, for physical exercise. But properly now, there is no department which you can hear definitely that they have launched that program. So we don't have programs to adjust this, and I wish we could create those programs. Are you getting me? All right. Then, of course, the cost. But for me, the cost, yes, the cost must be there. All right. And for me, I don't think it has not been a big problem. Yes, I feel the pinch. Are you getting me? I mean, I told you I'm just going to spend 13 million shillings on 2,000 books. The book which I'm going to launch. Are you getting to launch? Are you getting me? But I made that money and stocked it. Are you getting me? And kept that money. I was able to keep that money because I have been earning not from one source, and I've never been a thief. Are you getting me? I've been making my money honestly, either from my consultancy work, training facilitator. I've been selling my books. I've been directing and producing my plays. I have got 2 hotels where I'm making money. I've got houses for rental. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Those are all the skills, most of which I learned actually from reading other people's works, books. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So really, I think the challenge is that we don't have a national drive to get that. So the parents don't have it for their children. If you ask any parent, how many books do you have at home in your shelf? Even the shelf itself. Very few homes have got a bookshelf. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Very few. So the thing has never been put into us. And I would like to use this program, ladies and gentlemen, in God's name, please get your children to learn, to get to love books. If you don't read, you will always be very limited. You will not get new ideas. You will not be inspired. It is like when you don't move with people who are good at things. You know, you end up also being like them.
Yeah.
There is somebody who said, when you are surrounded by 9 fools, you automatically become the 10th. You get me? So really, we need to get this culture. Parents, please, let's do that. Schools, let's get these programs coming in. All right? Let's push reading. Reading books. Now, a lot of schools have even dropped a program like news. I know, I'm talking authoritatively as an education consultant. They no longer tell the stories. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So really, that's what the challenge is. And then, of course, The other challenge is the marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Okay, the marketing strategy. That's why now, as on my part, I have asked 4 of my sons, 4 of my children, to work out a marketing strategy for me. They are all grown up, they are men and women. And I have challenged them. For me, I'm writing the books. I want you to work out a marketing strategy. And I like to use this. Please, if you have got a plan for marketing, which you have got, you ring me up, I'm sure we shall give you the number. Let's work out a marketing strategy so that these books move. They move all over Uganda, they move beyond Uganda to Rwanda, to Burundi, because the things I write about go beyond Uganda. They can even go beyond Uganda, Africa, outside there. Give me the strategy, we shall work out terms of reference. Of course, you will earn from it. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So really, that's what I'm looking for, and that's a big challenge. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to aspiring authors in Uganda who aspire to follow in your footsteps as successful author entrepreneurs as well? And of course, given the background you've given and shared for us, you've been through a lot, but you've used all that to your advantage. What would be your word of advice?
First of all, it is great. I always tell people, whenever you do something that is appreciated by the people, you can walk with a swagger.
Yeah.
You get me? Whenever you write a book and people say, yes, this book has taught me how to deal with my children. This book has taught me how to prepare for my retirement. This book has taught me how to improve on my personal health and success levels. You feel greater. People feel greater because I'm proud of myself. Okay, I am proud of myself as Fajil Mande because everywhere in Uganda there is no parish where I can go and somebody does not recognize me. And they don't recognize me because I've been a stupid thief. No, because I've never been a thief. They recognize me because of what I have done that is essentially good for both men and women and the children. Are you getting me?
Yes.
So write so that you are appreciated. Number 2, write please so that you have your good ideas not dying with them. There is a research which was revealing that as Africans, we actually die, by the time we die, we have spent only 15% of our talents and abilities. Please, write. Why should you die and the whole of you goes and you disappear?
With nothing.
But when you write a book, it will remain there. You know, this book here is saying maximizing learning from primary and secondary education. Right. It will remain there even when I'm dead as Fajil Mande. This book which we are going to launch, Fajil Musa Mande, an African icon, it will go on because we want to show how can an icon come up at a family level, at a country level. How do we build African icons? Icons are people who do things sharply, clearly, well, and exemplary. Are you getting me? That book cannot be killed. Are you getting me?
There's a saying I read one time that you can learn in 20 minutes what took the author 20 years
Absolutely.
to learn.
You know? In fact, there is another story which goes, that not a story but a saying, it says, when you read a book, you enrich yourself. But when you write a book, you free your fellow men and women.
Wow, interesting.
So writing a book is a prison opener to free people.
Yeah.
Every time you write a book like this, the icon book, I'm sure it is going to open up people. You can see already how much the journalists have contributed, the ideas and their evaluation and all the things. Are you getting me? So it will excite the public, it will enhance the public, and when I'm asked by somebody there before maybe I go to heaven, are you getting me? What did you do with your life? I'll count my things which I've done. I did this, I wrote these books, I did these plays, I inspected so many schools, I brought up so many children, and they are like this, none of them has failed, and so on. And I'm sure God will say, go to heaven.
Yes. Very interesting, very interesting. Now, when you talk about reading and writing culture and the skills, is all lost for people who haven't, for example, they're hearing this at 30 years, they are hearing this at 40 years, they feel discouraged. They're like, okay, I lost all this time. I haven't invested really much in reading. What word would you have for them? Is it too late for them?
It's not too late. It's not too late. I told a friend of mine that he passed away. I went to see him in the hospital, and I found that, and he was a very good teacher, a headmaster of one of the city schools, you know. And I told him, I said, I won't mention his name. Please, why don't you jot down something about your life? He said, yeah. I said, no. What you can do, even when you are here on admission in the hospital, you get somebody who can type very fast and speak your words. Yeah. These words will be recorded by this person, and however small the book may be, it will be useful. You will have left us your great ideas. I mean, I imagine really for me dying, and I die with all my great ideas. This country will be cheated. I mean, my fellow Africans will be cheated. I have a lot of wisdom, a lot of sense. I want that to be recorded. Even you, start now. Don't start with a big book of 500 pages, no, because people fear to read bulky books. Yeah. That's why, by the way, most of my books, you know now, the biggest is 270 pages.
I think it's the recent one, right?
Yeah, the recent one. Even the other one of self-engineering, a true story about success, is about 260 pages. So I've had to write smaller books, all right? So put down your ideas. Remember, me, I've been watching people, when we sing and we are putting down the bodies in the grave. I look at which job has he completed. Yeah. Are you getting me? Always check yourself. Which job will you have completed? Please don't die before you write a book. You have great ideas. Leave them behind so that our grandchildren or even our children learn them, so that other people learn them. Unwritten, they would forget exactly what you are. Yeah.
Wow, that's very inspiring. And one thing I've picked also from your story is the fact that you are very passionate about, God, and that is something also that is inspiring, because most people, when they get so educated and they get to write books, they
even think they know better than God.
Yes, absolutely. So your work and life balance, you've now almost done most of the things. You've written a lot of books. How do you balance now your life? You're now 74 years, which is a ripe age. Yeah. How do you balance your life, your physical activity, as well as your authoring and family?
This is a practice I learned very early. I learned to balance my life. For example, I grew up here in Chebando. You get me? And when I was growing up, I never felt the pangs of poverty, no. Are you getting? Because I was working, I was fetching water for people, I was digging for people, I was digging pit latrines, particularly when I went to secondary school and I was stronger. Are you getting me? Then all of that, I was also doing weightlifting. I was also doing
weightlifting.
I was weightlifting. I started going to Mengo Social Center. Wow. Before I went to Rubini Secondary School in my secondary. So I have had a packed life, but I also developed the sense of balancing. Are you getting me? The more activities you have, the more you can balance and value your activities. And the more you waste your time, you have a lot of time, the more confused you become. Are you getting me?
That's right.
Yeah, that's why people say, if you want a job to be done, give it to a busy person. That's because they know how to program. You balance. First of all, decide what you want to be, and decide what you want to do in order to be what you want. Are you getting me? Right? So that is it. Right?
Wow.
Choose the right activities and give them the time, because the time is managed by you. And when I look at the factors of success, time management is very, very important. Life moves on time. Organize your time, choose what you want to do, define it, and stick to them. Don't get diverted by other people. Are you getting me? Remember the saying, when you are surrounded by 9 fools, you become automatically the 10th. Don't be surrounded by 9 fools in your life. Okay? You can accept guidance, but stick to what you want to do. Time is always there, and it is you to manage your time. That's why we need to teach people how to manage their life and also to understand themselves, who they are. Are you getting me? Anybody just growing by luck, he really will lose a very confused life.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Fadjil, as we wind up, talk about the digital era and how it has transformed authoring. We have so many platforms now on social media where we can have literature posted. How do you leverage technology and the digital era in this kind of business of authoring?
Of course, now one can take, for example, the digital era and use it to spread your books.
Yeah.
Send out your books, all right? But be careful, because also some books can be, you know, vulgarized through the mass, the digital era. But at the same time, for me as a writer, for me as a creator, ladies and gentlemen, digital era is very good. But the more digits, the more computers that are coming, the more technology that is coming, the more we are losing our creative energy.
Yeah.
That's why people now cannot even calculate a simple number. People cannot even remember anything because of you know, things are coming. So meanwhile, and I'm saying it as an education consultant, technology is not bad, but it is gradually making the human being empty and empty and empty.
Yeah.
There is a research which I read that 75% of everything being done today on Earth is being done by robots and technology.
Yeah.
So that means 2,500 is being done by, and somebody will say, but that's a good thing. No, that means the human being is being dehydrated, dried up, no use, except to remain as a buyer and a user. Wow. So we can use technology. I have even forecast, by the way, in my thinking, that if we are not careful, within 10 years, you might find that handwriting is no longer being taught in schools. Yeah. Because it will have, people will prove it is not necessary, you know, because you just say reza, and the word comes. Yeah. Are you getting me? You don't even have to learn spelling because the spellings are there. So let's be very, very careful. For me as a creative artist, for me as a human developer, I am worried about the speed at which life is being impoverished by technology.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Fadil Mande, and for having, of course, given us this time. The book is going to be launched on the 22nd of August at
from
the National
2:30 to 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, yes.
At the National Theatre,
yes,
next to Parliament here, and you won't be charged.
Yeah.
It's a free entrance because we want people to come as many as can. The National Theatre can take 375.
Yes.
Okay? But if you want, you can buy the book. I would like to appeal to you. Come
Where can
buy
they
the
find
book and take it.
The other books? And
the other books are mainly in the Uganda bookshop,
yes,
Aristotle bookshop, and Mukono bookshop. All right? Yeah. So come, buy yourself a copy. All the books will be on display. Yeah. The new book we are launching is great. Yeah. Don't part with it.
Wow.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You very much.
There you have it. Have a very wonderful night. That's it from us today, and stay tuned on Smart 24 TV, where we drive your business.
The number.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah. We'll share the number with you in case you would want to actually get to this event or buy a book. Definitely on our Twitter and social media, we'll be sharing that and more. My name is Anthony. See you once again last time. We will, of course, meet up later. Thank you.